Good, beautiful Sunday morning, everybody. Beautiful morning it is here in Merrill, Michigan. I'm heading out to Bay City to do a quote for a pre-existing client. We did some work for the beginning of this year, and they unfortunately lost their sister, and now they're going to be getting their house on the market, so they're having us come back out and do a basement clean out and probably followed by a deep clean. So what a beautiful morning it is. I was thinking in my mind, as you guys know, I spend a lot of time thinking. I'm a thinker. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm trying to find the best way in my life today to utilize that as a better outcome than what I did in my 20s, right? So I was an overthinker then too. I just used it wrong. I overthink about the wrong things. So this is more predicated towards the younger generation, maybe, that may feel like you always have to be around somebody. And I'm going to use some of my story to elaborate on that. When I was a young lad myself, back when I was a young lad, 20-some years ago, I constantly, so I had a fear of being alone. For whatever reason that was. I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. Maybe a little bit more today, but I didn't then. I had the fear of being alone because I didn't know what to do with the thoughts I had inside. Okay? I didn't know, I was very ambitious at a very young age. Had dreams. Wanted to do big things in life. And I just didn't know how to get started, right? I was stumped. So what I would do is I would constantly surround myself with people. Constantly. And I'm not saying people are the problem. I'm just saying. So what I would do is I would defer all my attention to all these people. And then by the end of the day, there was no time to give Justin any time for his future. So if there's one thing I could change, I would have changed that in order to be okay with being by yourself. I want to explain that. If you have to message back 25 people a day with random dead-end conversations, I'm not saying your 25 messages a day are random dead-end conversations, but mine were. Okay? They were not conversations that were going to lead me to a more productive life. There were silly ones, like, can you believe what Johnny did yesterday? Or you wouldn't believe what Scott did yesterday. Oh, blah, 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 and waste, 2 hours of my day. So if you have to reply to 25 different conversations each single day, and they're not conversations that are for the betterment of you and your family's future, by the end of the day, you're not going to have much time for yourself. You're going to be mentally exhausted to the point. Now today there's social media. There wasn't social media when I was growing up. There was like AOL dial-up, and you had chat rooms, and it was weird. But if you have to get through all them conversations, by the time it's time to work on Justin, there was no mental energy left to focus on that. You ever heard the person say, everybody's got 24 hours? It depends on what you do with it? That's very true. So you have 24 hours a day. You ever see the person that's jacked and ripped? I just seen a friend cushion 2 days ago at Menards. Ripped. Absolutely ripped. Looks better than most 19 and 20-year-old dudes walking around. Just absolutely jacked. He earned that by 45 minutes to an hour a day for the past 30 years. And then a lot of people will tell him, or even say, let's use me, because I used to be pretty decent shape too. Yeah, well, I just don't have the time for that. Well, yeah, I have to answer 25 different conversations that consume your entire day. You're right, you're not going to have time for that. You're not going to have the time. But you do have time. Everybody's got 24 hours. We all live on the same clock. And it doesn't matter when you do something or don't do something. Some people don't wake up till noon and they work till 2 o'clock in the morning. And they're Elon Musk. So if one thing I could change would have been being okay with telling people no. No is a complete sentence, and it does not deserve an explanation. You don't owe anybody an explanation of why you got invited to an event, and you just say no. I can't do that right now. No. I don't have the time. Hey, you want to go hang out? No. It doesn't have to be a mean no. You don't have to be a jerk about it. But we're all perfectly capable of using a complete sentence of no. Now, if it's somebody close in your proximity, you might be able to elaborate on that a little more, and say, hey, you know what? No, right now I'm in head down focus on where I'm trying to take my future. And I just don't do those events right now. I've had to do that. I've had to tell people in my family even that, hey, you know what? I can't make that event. I'm just not going to be able to do that. They may not have understood it, and that's fine. And the people you're telling no to may not understand it, and that's fine. I would have been so much further along in life if I didn't feel like I constantly had to be around people. If you ever had that feeling within you where you feel like you constantly need to be around other people, you probably have big dreams and aspirations. And you should pay attention to those and be okay with being alone for a little bit. Practice being okay with being alone and fall in love with yourself. That may sound corny and weird, but it isn't. And I'm going to elaborate on that. If you can't love yourself, and through love you got to give selfish love to yourself. Whether that's exercise, reading, you got to do things for yourself in order to actually say you love yourself. If you just do everything for everybody else and nothing for you, you don't truly love yourself. So, in order for us to love ourselves, we have to do things for ourselves. And in order to give the people surrounding you the best version of ourselves, we literally have to love ourselves. We cannot give our children our best version of us if we don't love ourselves. We can't do it. The love starts within here, in ourselves. And then, by the quality of relationship we have with ourselves, is the quality of the relationship we're going to be able to build with our children, or our significant other, or our friends, or our clients, or whatever it may be. Our relationships are heavily predicated upon the time you put into yourself. And it doesn't have to be self-mastery, but that's not a bad goal to reach towards. Self-mastery is the key that unlocks all your dreams and visions. And self-mastery, you hear that and you think you have to go to some college course to accommodate that, and you do not. Self-mastery can be 15 minutes a day every morning. Working on yourself and figuring out who you are and what you want in life. That you will attract the people you want into your life by doing that. We can never attract Mr. or Mrs. Right, and I'm not giving relationship advice, by no means. We can never attract Mr. or Mrs. Right into our life if we don't dedicate any time to ourselves. We will always settle for something that'll just work. That's just the way the humans work. That isn't a stab at anybody, ain't nothing. If we don't work on ourselves at all, well, we can't be the best version of ourselves, so we cannot attract the best mate possible, the best life partner possible, if we don't work on ourselves. So in that analogy, because I wanted to be surrounded by everybody, I was not attracting the best quality individual. And I'm not saying nothing about my past or the past people. I still love them all. I think about them all the time. I think about all the people I used to hang out with, the crowds we had in the little town of St. Charles and Hemlock. I think about those people all the time. I always wonder what they're doing in life. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it'll be like just random, this certain personal problem I have. Man, I hope they're doing good today. Like, I always think about old friend of mine, Tommy Campbell. I love the guy. Every time I see him, he's always in good spirits, good dude. I grew up with him. I could list people for days, but I'm not going to do that. That'll take the whole video. But, you know, periodically I'll be like, oh, yeah, that person. I hope they're doing great. But the power of saying no and working on ourselves for just, say, 15 minutes a day. People say, well, Justin, I don't know how to work on myself. Okay. Just script your day. Write down your day, what it looks like your normal day looks like. Whatever. I don't care. It could be wake up, brush your teeth, get your kids ready, get them off to the bus, feed them, get them off to the bus, whatever. Go to work, come home, talk to the hubby, talk to the wife, whatever. Whatever. Do dishes, do some cooking, blah, 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 go to bed. Right? That's what a lot of people's lives look like. It very well may be just implementing something a little bit different into our daily routines that could change the trajectory of our outcome. Our relationship outcome, our financial outcome, our spiritual and mental health outcome, everything. It only takes 15 minutes a day. And we all got 15 minutes a day. I don't care if you have 15 kids. That don't matter. You can dedicate 15 minutes a day to ourselves. And this is something my parents told me. I can remember this vividly. I remember my mom saying it and my dad both telling me this. Justin, you have to stop worrying about everybody else and focus on you for a little bit. I didn't understand that when I was young. I didn't understand it. They were giving me the right advice. I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand what they meant. I was confused. I didn't know. What do you mean give myself time? I want to go hang out with my friends, Dad, Mom. School teacher, well, whoever it was giving me the great advice. I had some great school teachers. Miss Wahavich is one of them. I'll never forget Miss Wahavich. Miss Karen Wahavich. It's like a second mother to me. And she took the patience to understand me. That means the world to me. I love Miss Wahavich. Karen's a phenomenal woman. But not to get off track, if I could have spent a little time focusing on myself, opposed to worrying about what everybody was doing after school or on the weekends, it can literally change your everything. It can change your whole outlook on life. And the ability to just say no. Listen, if you want to build a good life, it takes a big portion of your day. I'm here to tell you right now, it might consume your weekends too, depending on what your goals are in life. You know, it depends. If you have big dreams and aspirations, it's probably going to consume all your weekends too. Like, not every minute of your weekend, but you're going to be working every weekend. Just little things that I've learned throughout my story of childhood to the different things I do today that could have changed my whole outcome 20 years ago. That could be beneficial to somebody just starting up where they always feel like they got to be around somebody. Spend some time with yourself. And a great way to figure out who you are is to write down who you're not. Sit down and write down. Take the 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. The bad part is people have such a short attention span today. It's bananas. It's like 30-some seconds. It's got crazy. Since the introduction of apps like Facebook and TikTok, the attention span of the human being is like drastically plummeted. It went down to the tank. It's terrible. If you can write down what you are not, you can easily find out what you are. So what you are not. Maybe you're not violent. Okay, that'd be a good thing to write down. I'm not violent. I'm not an anti-whatever, right? You can just write down little characteristics of what you are not to find out who you are. And then find some time each day to fine-tune those areas of who you are. Little 15-minute intervals can change your whole entire life. It's not going to stay 15 minutes though, because you're going to start doing it, and eventually you're going to start seeing little improvements, and eventually you're going to want to do it all the time. Yeah, you're going to go from 15 minutes to an hour of it a day. You know, and I'm not telling you to do some 3-hour morning ritual. I mean, do whatever you do, but I mean, there's an excessive. You ever hear that thing? Too much anything can be bad. Yeah, don't overdo it. Lose your mind. So that's just some little things I would think that would help benefit the youth or anybody that's trying to get a different outcome, matter of fact, in life. It doesn't have to be just the youth. I mean, it can be anybody. Maybe you're 25 and 30 and you just don't know what to do. Well, a great way to do is spend some time alone for a while. And you ain't got to be mean to your friends. Tell your friends, hey, look, I ain't doing none of this stuff for a while. I'm going to go heads down and I'm going to focus on the betterment of my life. And if they get upset that you do that, they weren't your friends anyways. They don't care about your outcome anyways. But you're going to find out later on in life that that's probably a lot of the people you surround yourself with right now. So I love you all. I hope you guys have a blessed day. I want to thank everybody for the love and support. You guys have been really giving us, or me for that example, on the video content, on our photos, on the YouTube channel. I appreciate all of you. I am just some ordinary guy willing to tell my story. Willing to resonate with people, willing to try to give the best advice that I can, that I've learned in life. I learned the hard way. You guys heard me tell my story about me being a drug addict and an alcoholic, in the gutters, getting in trouble, in and out of jails. Like, it just wasn't good. And I'm willing and open about discussing those things because I know there's some people out there going through some tough times that if they may see that one person can do it, that anybody can do it, right? And that's why I share my story and try to make daily content, not because I want attention, but because I know how I felt when I was being brought up. I know how big the world felt when I was being brought up. I know how scared I was. I would act out in stupid ways, honestly. And the truth was, it's because I was just scared and I didn't know what direction to go on. I didn't know what path to take. I didn't have the answers. And you're not going to have them neither. And I still don't have them. I still figure out new stuff every day. So I truly appreciate the love and support from the community. You guys are beautiful. Have a blessed day. Just so you know, I'm out here driving around. Smoke seemed to clear out and it blew back in, and I don't know what this haze shit is, but I don't think it's fire smoke. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But it already cleared out one day. And then yesterday, midday, it decided to take a turnaround and decided, hey, we're going to come back and pay you a visit. And it's still hazy out today. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you this right now. It's not normal. I've been alive for 44 years of my life. That stuff that's been happening from the whatever fires they're talking about has not existed for very long. Coupled to a few years. It's not normal. And I'm not telling you what to believe or what not to believe. Just take precaution. I love you all. Have a blessed day.